that's the important thing among all of this. And so at that point, he just asks, what's the plan? Right? And Bruce is like, the plan? Like, what are you talking about? And Waylon just says, the plan, man. Like, the next move. How are we going after the ones doing all of this to our city? And Bruce just says, we're not going after anything, Waylon. Like, I never should have brought you all into all of this. There is no we. And the funny thing about this is that Waylon says, screw that. Right? There is only we, Bruce. Like, that's what I learned down there. Alone in the dark. We only get through this together. What you should or should have brought us in is irrelevant. You did bring us in. And our choice to make. And Bruce just says, no, it's not. And he says, I love you, Way. Take care of yourself. And walks away from Waylon Jones. Now, again, keep in mind, this is not Batman acting out of malice. It's Batman acting out of fear. It's Batman afraid of the fact that he brought them in, their lives were irrevocably changed, and he's afraid of what will happen next. And I think, if anything, this represents Bruce Wayne understanding what he's stepping into now. Alfred was right when he told him there are forces in play out here that you can barely comprehend, and they will destroy your life and everyone that you know and love. Bruce has gotten a taste of that. He doesn't know how far down this rabbit hole goes. He's Alice. He just stepped in chasing the white rabbit. And sure, he came across a jar of molasses, but he's still falling. But he has not gotten to the long, low hall with the lamps hanging from the roof. So it's one of these crazy things when you see how his character's evolved and grown over the years. But at that point, you jump back to the aftermath of the fight between Waylon Jones and Bibbo Lebowski. Because one of the things to keep in mind here is that the fight was supposed to be fixed. But if you guys remember that whole segment and that whole conversation in episode Batman #14 with Absolute Bein, one of the things that we learned is it was almost kind of a juxtaposition between the fight with Waylon and Bibbo and the fight with Bruce Wayne and Absolute Bein. That it was a David versus Goliath fight. Waylon was supposed to go down. Instead, that didn't happen. And what Bruce had done is he had taken all the money from Falcone and he had bet it all on Waylon Jones to win, which is exactly what happened. But the fact is, it pissed off Falcone. Not only that, right, Bruce is in prison, and that's when you kind of find out the fix is in, right? Falcone is just too well connected for everything, because Bruce has just had the tar beat out of him. I mean, he's able to hold his own. The guy's 6'7" and like 400 pounds. Like, I promise you, this man can hold his own in a prison. Right, but Bruce tells Waylon, right, you should see the other guy. You know, and Waylon asks, was it because of Falcone? And Bruce just says, he's got a lot of friends in here, man. Right, and that's when Waylon tells him, goes up every time we meet it. Right, the guys. Harvey is looking into legal loopholes. Ozzy is backdooring things. Eddie's questioning it all. Me, the fight money that you gave me is tied up in the gym purchase. I tried to resell the place, but Falcone has everyone scared to buy it. And so Bruce just says, if you ever sell that gem, I will never talk to you again. And he says, I took Falcone's money, but I didn't just bet it on you. I bet it on all of us. Understand? One of us wins. We all win. I save you, you save me. We all keep saving each other until we all make it out. Crime Alley for life. And Waylon just says, no one can change you. Now, that's one of the most beautiful developments of the Absolute Universe. And that's what I say is so awesome that the whole thing is murdered. You guys know, Crime Alley is the alley where Thomas and Martha were shot, and Bruce Wayne basically started on the path of becoming Batman. It's a place of tragedy. It's a place of sadness. And while it still very much is in the Absolute Universe, that instead of what came out of it being Batman with his dark and brooding ways and so on and so forth, what came out of it was a unification of what you and I would traditionally call Batman's rogues gallery. But instead, they're all friends. So something kind of beautiful came out of this. But you see the betrayal here for Waylon Jones, right? That the agreement was that they all support each other no matter what until they all make it out of Crime Alley and find some better life. But then when it comes time to actually honor that agreement, Bruce is afraid to do it because he understands what can be lost. And so at that point, you switch over to Bruce Wayne and Alfred and Harley Quinn monitoring the return of the Absolute Joker. Now remember, we know very little about this guy, right? We've got, what, a few appearances, we got one comic, like there really isn't a whole lot going, but we know enough to know that there's a lot of theories out there. And one of the things that Alfred has theorized is that all these different iterations of the Jack Graham family who have done various things over the years, that it's all been the same guy. In a lot of ways, it was Scott Snyder grabbing the Dionysium storyline from his New 52 Batman run and the whole concept of the Joker being the Pale Man, meaning he's been alive for hundreds of years. He's very, very old. It was one of the coolest plot threads that DC never did anything with. It was the comic book equivalent of like your voice trailing off. It just vanished one day, and that was it. Right, but the cool thing about this is that when they're watching him, Bruce Wayne says him, right, he's everywhere all of a sudden. And that's when you get this kind of news segment, right, where it says, a warm welcome back to Gotham royalty, Jack Grim IV. Generous grants to multiple city programs. And he says, because I truly believe that Gotham is all of us together. So clearly he's shining people off. And that's exactly what Alfred says, right? The charm of Vincent continues. And Bruce just says, for weeks now, right? The city loves him, right? And
Your timing couldn't be better.
Is how he operates. He's laying
I was just thinking of setting up a ranch soil moist, and a refreshing breeze couldn't be more perfect.
That's an important thing to understand.
Second guess, I'll start right away.
Joker haven't really fought, right? They are aware of each other, right? Batman is aware of Joker, and Absolute Joker is
Head down to the lower pasture and lend a hand. And while you're there, talk to the rancher. The life cautions to take when tending them.
Right, but still.
Turn complex information into actionable insights with Notes on LM. Upload your own sources. Create an interactive knowledge base you can trust. Find insights faster with Google Workspace.
You've arrived. I was waiting for you.
But still, that is going to happen. I have no doubt. What's cool about this, though, is that in the middle of it all, this signal ends up coming up on screen. And Bruce is like, what is all of this about? Right? And Harley's just like, us being miserable. And he's just like, Harley. Right? And she says, well, right, it's just a little something that I whipped up. I'm still testing, right? But people can send a distress beacon to your pal when they need help. They call it that signal. It's all untraceable. It's encrypted. It's not like folks out there can just be calling you on the phone. No, this is known, right? A 21st century Batman in a lot of ways. Because let's be honest with ourselves, as iconic as it is, the bat signal flying out in the sky, that's unique to the thing AC Universe Batman.
You can always tell me who you're looking for.
Batman universe.
You made
This is
it.
the universe that changes so much about
Looking
mythos.
for anyone
The
specific?
reason said about the more things change, the more they stay the same. And the Bat Signal certainly does more than just have Commissioner Gordon say, Batman, I need your help. It's a warning to criminals out there. Batman's out there, well, he won't kill you. He'll have you drinking your food through a straw for the rest of your life, right? So, right, don't commit crimes. And so it's one of these things where I love the updated idea within this universe. So that's when he gets a call from Jim Gordon, and he's like, I'll be right there. And so Harley asks, like, we're all going to go to jail.
You can
Harley,
always tell
we're
me
gonna
who you're
problem
looking for.
today. And so when Batman gets to the rooftop where Jim Gordon's at, Jim seems a little overly paranoid. Right? He immediately turns a gun on Batman. He's like, who's there? Right? And Bruce is just like, I am. And he just says, man, like, you move fast for a big guy. Like, I guess I'm going to have to get used to that, aren't I? If we're going to make a meeting like this a thing. Now, one of the things to keep in mind about Jim Gordon, and it's very easy to forget here, right? It was kind of this small little moment that happened over the course of the Absolute Batman line. For those of you guys who don't remember, number one, Jim Gordon
I
is
just
like
saw the letter
with
closed.
Bruce Wayne's mom.
If he let a patsy prepare in battle and give me a minute or two to prepare them myself, but I'm sure from high quality letter. Once I've done the work properly, they'll know far better.
Mom's found a new guy, and I don't know how I feel. Right? I think it's important to frame it that way, as opposed to like Bruce is young and angsty, pissed because his mom's beating somebody else. His dad died in a very tragic circumstance, and so you can understand why he would respond to it the way that he did. But the other thing is that Jim Gordon, being as capable of a cop as he is, he figured out very early on that Bruce Wayne was Batman. Right? He's like, I mean, look, if nothing else, it was just looking at the build of both of you. Right? The reality here is that you just put on a costume and go out there as Absolute Batman. You don't change your size, or you don't have the ability to alter the size of your body. So it was only a matter of time before I was able to figure it out. Which really begs the question, how long would it take for other people to figure it out, besides those who already have? But Bruce says, right, Mr. Gordon, on the phone, you sounded upset. You sounded scared. And Jim just says, I suppose I did. But how do I say this? Over the past few weeks, since your mother left, I've been feeling some ignorance, even questions about the past. But what I found, it changes everything. Because that's the other thing to me. Bruce Wayne's Joker got to them, obliterated their ranks, and what was left fled. Right? And it seemed like Martha was one of them, and then just settled down and built a life with Thomas Wayne. But Jim Gordon continues on. Right? It does change everything, but not just about the past, but the present too. And it all leads right here, son, to this moment and to you. Right? And Bruce asks, right, what leads to me? And Jim just said, all of it, right, everything, for days now. I've been wrestling with whether to call you or not. And to give these files to access through this, I don't know what the right thing is anymore. The deeper I dig, the more frightening it gets. And so what you're seeing here is a very unsettled condition of work. This guy's all over the place. His behavior is erratic in some way. And Bruce is just like Mr. Gordon, right? With a response to Jim, he says, the more lost in it I feel. It's like one of those formations, right? Where it's too tall to see its eggs. And so Bruce just says, right, maybe you should just show me. And Jim's like, show you what? And then that's when he realizes what he's talking about. Right? All right, fine. Right? He says, just prepare yourself, okay? And then when he goes to take him out, he asks the question, did you hear that? Right? So clear paranoia, right? There's a crow that's sitting out there. But the file contains what's called Project Batman. So seemingly, this is a great plan that's been laid out for quite some time. It looks like Bruce became Batman. It's not a mistake. And it was all part of the plan. Jim Gordon just says, this was a mistake. I never should have come here. And he takes a cigarette and starts burning the files. And at that moment, Jim Gordon's arm catches on fire, right? He's like, come see me, right? He just says, Mr. Gordon, just tell me what's going on. We'll keep you safe. Okay? And the crows start calling, right? And he says, I'm afraid it's too late for them. Just promise me to burn those files. Burn them. It just says, it's a mistake. It's a right? It will burn them. There's some buzzing all around. And he's like trying to stop, like the birds. His birds. And what in the hell is this? And Jim just says, I'm sorry, Bruce, for everything, but most of all, for what you're about to find out. And he goes to jump off the edge, right? Now, Bruce grabs, and literally the tail from the cape comes out and grabs his coat. He's like, I have you, Mr. Gordon, hang on. And then as soon as he gets to the edge, Jim Gordon has already fallen. Hits the ground. And everybody just starts pointing out, where they're like, oh my God, is that Mayor Gordon? Right, look up there. Batman.
This is gonna be good.
It looks like Batman. And as he's into the street, absolute scarecrow lights a cigarette and just waves at him. Doesn't take any of this serious. And so at that point, you jump over to a huge moment here. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. This is going to blow your mind, right? And so when Bruce Wayne gets back to what you and I would call a Batcave, essentially, like space of operation, he's traumatized by it. Literally, absolute scarecrow traumatized Bruce Wayne. He traumatized the hell out of this guy. Right? And he just says, I had it. Right? And Alfred's like, it's not your fault here. And he says, for that 1 second, I had it. And he did. He lost basically a father figure. I wouldn't say that it's like losing his father. This figure could have been. And who could have been. Right? Bruce was on his way to viewing Jim that way. And that's when you find out that it's real. Right? Jim Gordon hit the ground. He's dead. And then he's going to a special message from Mayor Hill, right? And he says, thank you. Those are the lights I come to you. Tragic news. Former Mayor Jim Gordon is dead. Killed by the bank. And this is where he goes with that political nonsense, framing the entire situation about himself, right? Jim and I were close friends. We're family of friends. No one was happier for me when I won the mayorship than Ed. He told me, to be honest, I'm relieved you won instead of me. You are the best man to keep the city safe. Obviously, doesn't crock. Or like, obviously, it's full of nonsense. And that's when he gets cut off. But not by anybody who's talking with empathetic intent. He gets cut off by a very nefarious man. This guy walks up and just says, that's enough. Right? And that's where the mayor just says, all right, yeah. And here and now, to help explain how we will keep Gotham City safe. And that's where this guy steps up and says, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Slade Wilson. Now, you don't know me, but what I know about you, about the people of this city, is that you are tough. You are unafraid. Because Gotham, it tests you. It tests you more than perhaps any other city on Earth. Still, every single day, pick yourselves up. Put yourselves together. One step at a time. And you go out there and you face Gotham head on. For too long, though, you have not had a real problem. Today, that changes. No more darkness. No more creatures of the night terrorizing your streets. From now on, let Gotham's symbol be a messenger of morning. With that, I present to you the Robin program. I told you guys, right? The ending of this is nuts. Funded by one of Gotham's own founding sons, Jack Grimm. Mr. Grimm's sustained and extraordinary support for Gotham's youth, especially its least fortunate children, is well known. He has sheltered, mentored, and guided countless numbers of challenged young men and women over the years. He takes the misunderstood, the lords of the state, or fallen through the city's many cracks, and helps them find their way. The ones who've turned to criminality, guided by an exceptional leader, orphaned at an early age, and raised by Mr. Grimm, this team will be Gotham's new totem. And there's names here that you should recognize. Tim Drake, Stephanie Brown, Jason Todd, Duke Thomas, and Wilson. Right? These are the traditional Robins of Batman. Right? And he says, I have had the honor of training them, and they are more than ready. And so at that point, when they approach Slade, right, they say, we don't understand General Wilson. The order sent a suit up for duty, but we already did. And he says, that's because those are not your suits, Captain Grayson. These are. And he presents them with their outfits. You have to see what their suits look like. But he presents them, and he says, together, we will end this long, dark night of fear and terror. We will bring back the light, but make no mistake, it will be a fight, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe the biggest fight in the history of this city, and it starts right now. That being said, guys, we're going to bring this video to an end. I'm going back to my break, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.
We meet again. Very well. Welcome. Until next time.
Every grain. I bet it won't be long before I see you again. I never tire of the feeling of stone in hand. You'll find it useful. A mere pebble remembers the ages it's seen. I'm never glad to admit you. Take care.
Hey. I'll hit you so hard, your ancestors will cry. I'll slaughter
Be well and safe.
No weapons, no excuses. Bare fists.
Yeah? I'll hurt you!
How fit? You look ready to take on the day? This forge has restored many fine blades. Step, you're welcome at my smithy anytime.
A blade is to a warrior what a ship is to its captain.
My weapons are unbreakable.
Good choice. Ever drop by whenever you need an edge.
Straight.
Greetings.
Money is a noble thing. We guarantee safe. Transactions.
So blessed watching them slowly toddle about. I wonder if he's with his This is from Mr. Boulder. The children always thought the world of their training ended too soon, but those days still mean a shame. They teach them the meaning of protecting mother, truly.
I enjoy doing. I don't like to be honest. I'm Alex.
Knee, come closer. The knee joint, the knee bone, the joint bone. It's structured in various ways. The hollow of the leg, you can see that spot right here. This hollow, it's structured in.
Moral of this story is, if you never ask, the answer is no. I'm gonna need this back.
Greetings, stranger.
Fancy a peek at the cats that just come in? Have you a full... I'm all right. Open. Come by anytime.
Look at the face of this.
You've been looking at me for a while. It's good to hear they received the shield. You know, sometimes it takes more courage to raise a shield. I hope that when they see it, they'll be reminded of the so much it takes others. No doubt the wear comes. Oh.
More Canadians than ever are getting the pouches they want. From Rush Tins, we carry your favorite brands. Zin, Bello, Sonic, plus over 200 flavors and strengths. Coolness, Cola,
That is just right. Nice shimmering too.
Whether you want a light 6 milligram tingle or a 50 milligram buzz, Rush Tins delivers. Plus, all orders.
That is just right. Nice shimmering. Get
Express
over the moon when they see what I've got. It'll be a great feast thanks to you.
It's finally happening. After 11 years, we are getting a Bloodborne movie. It's going to be an R-rated animation produced by Jacksepticeye.
Oh,
like with many
so
others,
this is it.
The most influential.
Look at that finish. It's just flawless. And the balance is spot on.
At this
There's
point,
a great deal in worth studying.
Video
Oh,
games and
thanks.
remediations, and many of them have been unsuccessful, but we've also seen a few gems like Arcane and the recent Sonic films, and even Mario did pretty good. Not to mention the incredible success of Markiplier's Fire Emblem, which you should totally watch if you haven't already and enjoy Bloodborne. However, Bloodborne is going to be an extremely difficult remediation project because of how extremely interlinked the gameplay is with its actual narrative. As an example, a key feature of Bloodborne is that you have to die over and over and over to obtain more insight about how to navigate the world. And that's a clear example of a typical video game quality of dying over and over being translated into the narrative itself. And while that really does wonders for the game, the film is going to have some struggles remediating those qualities of the game into the cinematic medium. So at this point, I'd like to go over perhaps 3 of my primary concerns / hopes in this adaptation that maybe some of you are going to relate to. I'm very much curious as to what you guys are hoping for out of this adaptation, and what are you expecting is likely going to happen. So now I'd like to discuss how the movie is going to have to overcome challenges with its aesthetics, how it's going to have to remediate its narrative, and how it's going to have to adapt the cosmic horror that Bloodborne is so well known for into film. Alright, so first off, we know that it's going to be an animation, which is such a huge relief. I keep thinking about it like, oh, it's going to be a live action, but then reminding myself, like, oh no, there's actually some great possibilities there with the animation medium. One of the major factors that they're going to be struggling with during this process is trying to find an animation style that actively captures the sheer maximalist grimdark aesthetic of Bloodborne. Bloodborne has honestly given birth to its own aesthetic at this point, and if that's not actually translated in the film, then it's going to be a huge disservice to the original game. Because think about it, every time you step into the world of Yharnam, there is just so much happening, so much terribleness. There are coffins littering every street, gravestones crammed together, candles. The beasts are just so full of grotesque details, and it's all crammed together in these narrow alleyways. Yet even then, there's so much detail, even in such tiny, cramped spaces. And so we have to wonder what exactly is going to be the animation style that's going to make that world of Yarnum like pop on the cinema screen. And I will say this right off the bat, and some people may disagree with me here. I'm curious what y'all would say to this, but I think 2D animation would unfortunately not work for Bloodborne. And that is because, again, it has to be absolutely packed with details like the ones we see in Bloodborne. Because, again, Bloodborne really is like an artwork in of itself. It is like you're walking through this incredibly rich and detailed painting, and yet having a 2D animation, unless the budget is just off the charts, is going to painfully flatten the world of Bloodborne in a way that would be unforgivable. Because Bloodborne is full of rot, it's full of decay, corrosion, and those kinds of textures require depth, that there's lots of depth in those. And in the game we get to experience that by, actually walking through the game, walking through this three-dimensional space. Now, not to suggest that such remediation would have nothing going for it. I think 2D animation is just an incredible medium, but merely that Bloodborne would suffer from such a thing. Additionally, the two-dimensional angle would really harm the cosmic horror of Bloodborne, because while Bloodborne would be able to do more crazy abstract things in 2D, at the same time, the original game of Bloodborne has very concrete, like remarkably concrete cosmic horror elements. And I think that's actually a strength of the game that would in fact be lost in such a transition. On the other hand, some animation styles that I think would work better would be, say, the three-dimensional style that we see in the Secret Level series that had recently been made by Amazon. Especially They Shall Know No Fear animation is just absolutely immaculate. And perhaps I'm biased towards Warhammer, but the sheer physicality of the Astartes animation that we saw that's like 50 years ago. But in that style, although sure it's largely the sound design, every physical action has very great weight, very great heft to it that would facilitate a degree of immersion and immediate audience participation that is expected out of a video game that actually channels that energy that one gets when actually playing Bloodborne. Do you guys have any ideas on what Bloodborne as a film could look like? Personally, I'm very curious, but oh my god, imagine them doing a stop-motion animation. That would be crazy, because it's possible without it's completely off the table. I don't think that's the way they should go, but it could be pretty cool. Anyway, then I'd like to talk a little bit more about the narrative. Now, the narrative of the film is going to be, I think, the biggest challenge of the entire project, partially because they're facing the dilemma of making the film about the hunter, and if they do that, then there's going to have to be a lot of changes they're going to make. Or they could potentially go make a completely new story for Bloodborne that we haven't seen before, or maybe they might even try and go the route of exploring the events before the final night of the hunt, maybe following the perspective of Lady Maria as the Healing Church discovered the ancient blood. But yeah, first of all, if we follow the perspective of the hunter, they're definitely going to have to be humanized, otherwise it's really just going to feel like the video game in a way that's not flattering to the movie. But if they do so, they're going to have to cut out a lot of content, and I don't know how they're going to do dialogue. You know, with all From Software games, there's a concern of, well, how are they going to do dialogue with playing functionally mute protagonists? Although I could totally see something akin to what they did at the beginning of Project Mary, where that is just what wakes up, and we don't know anything about them. We're just thrown into the story with them, and maybe discover some bits about their backstory as well as the journey goes on. But wouldn't it be also fascinating if we got a protagonist that simply didn't remember anything at all about themselves throughout the film, and we really got to feel that insanity as the night unfurled?
Now that we're all could I ask a favour? I've long believed the shadow of apocalypse, so I resigned myself to hunting down thieves and bringing hunted. I'd like to put that fate to the test. One final reading. To see if the old belief still hangs over this world. In a half apple, if you find a divine apple, could you bring it to me?
Fuck is this?
Beg your bloody pardon. Do you have a moment?
Nope.
You're taking a pic, mate.
If you need any... Our quality is top. What's it? You'll come by again.
You ought to watch. Watch out for flower baskets floating in the air.
Fine leather grows more splendid with age. Much thanks. It's sturdy as can be. I'm happy to drop by whenever you please.
Hello.
No doubt the wear comes from fighting with everything they've got. You're looking to get hurt. I'm not in the mood.
What's this? 5 apples? I only needed 1 for the reading. 5 would give me more seeds than I could ever count. Perhaps reading and fate. Fate may be matter after all, but that means we just have to rewrite ours. You've opened the path for us to defy fate.
Oh, this is better leather than I expected. With this, the armors will be much sturdier. I'd better get to work on it tonight.
I can't sleep right now.
GM is where you leave ordinary for something a little more interesting. It's your favorite games, like The Price is Right, or the center of an all-time dealer contests. Make it Vegas, almost dangerous. Better GM to see. Make it legendary.
The prickly ones need patience. The hot-blooded ones need to be soothed. If you meet them... I was about to ask you when you were heading out. Got a job?
Obviously, look, there's been crazy stuff going on in the world these days. Whole war on the other side of the planet.
Take care now.
That was implemented to deflect from these files, holding the government accountable for being, for having some of the key people running the country possibly tied up with an actual human trafficker, pretty deeply. But, ladies and gentlemen, with all the deflections aside, it's back again. Okay, you can't not talk about the situation when even the First Lady is yapping about it. Now, about a week ago, you probably saw these statements by Melania Trump about the whole Epstein situation. And I feel like it's great to let her speak in the situation.
Good afternoon. the lies linking me with the disgraceful Jeffrey Epstein need to end today. The individuals lying about me are devoid of
Need something packed? You've come to the right person.
And respect. I do not object to their ignorance, but rather I reject their mean-spirited attempts to defame my reputation. I never been friends with Epstein. Donald and I were invited to the same parties as Epstein from time to time, since overlapping in social circles is common in New York City and Passage. To be clear, I never had a relationship with Epstein or his accomplice. My email reply to Maxwell cannot be categorized as anything more than casual correspondence.
So it's a pretty huge thing. The First Lady of the United States, the Lotus comes in, starts talking about Epstein, when, remember, ladies and gentlemen, the story largely started to not die off, I would say, but lose a lot of its relevance ever since the, situation in Iran kind of started. So for her to bring this up was actually kind of a shock to not just me, not just, I assume, you guys watching, but also it actually surprised the people at the White House, even surprised her own husband, for crying out loud. According to the folks over here writing about it, the actual individuals in the White House were a little bit shocked. According to Trump, he said in an interview that later that day he didn't even know about it ahead of time. On Friday, he then tells that he knew the First Lady had
Need
wanted
something
to say
packed?
about it at some point.
Come back when you've more stuff to leave with me.
She even planned to say. Which I think is really interesting. Like, listen, this is like husband and wife. Generally, when you're going to talk about something as serious as the Epstein scandal in your own home, you're probably going to be on the same fucking page every single step of the road, right? Now, of course, obviously, at the same time, at this point, a few days ago, a lot of people at the Epstein, Reddit board, and just people who are researching in general, found a name called Paolo Zampoli. Apparently, all of the Epstein files. He's the person who got Melania her visa, and he also had the president use ICE to abduct and imprison his estranged wife and have her deported. So these are very, very massive claims. And obviously, I think I want to go down into this and read, obviously, what this connection is. Because ultimately, up until when I was researching this name really didn't scream out at me. But then again, a lot of names I'm kind of learning, like Leon Black, a lot of individuals like Lex Wexner, who should actually be subdued, should actually be investigated, are just basically Abigail blind eyes for a bad one. Now, before we jump particularly into Paolo, I want you to understand that this is a situation of what we call the Streisand effect, right? Now, Melania Trump is somebody that is not, she's not somebody that people haven't been talking about. Obviously, people look at images of Donald and Melania, along with, these two fucking complete scumbag assholes, and realize how is all of this kind of connected, right? And obviously, there were emails that, Melania Trump had actually written to Ghislaine Maxwell, and let me pull up something really quickly, something that she was actually referring to in her statement. So again, that particular 2002 email was apparently exchanged between Ghislaine and Melania. And of course, Melania, according to this, writes, "Dear G, how are you? Nice story about J.E. in New York Magazine. It was great on the picture. I know you're very busy flying all over the world. How is Palm Beach? I can't wait to go down there. Give me a call when you're back in New York." Now, of course, this is back in 2002, and this is before even the, obviously the Florida legal troubles that Epstein had had. But you can see that, obviously, they're closer over here. They're more friendly and cordial. There's definitely more than just being a friend. Like, for instance, I'm friends with a lot of people on YouTube. Very few people on YouTube I've had this kind of correspondence with, other than, like, maybe on the top of my head, like 5 or 6 individuals. So you have to kind of ask yourself how close these kind of people were in this situation. So, of course, ultimately, this kind of resparked the entire investigation into Epstein. And a lot of people started to look at what thread connected all these people together. And that's where we're going to get talking about that Paolo individual. Now, to look closer into Paolo Zampoli, okay, the individual that everyone has been talking about, apparently there's been an entire turf war going on in this guy's Wikipedia page over here, which doesn't really bode well. This is the guy, the U.S. Special Representative for Global Partnership.
So just a quick read-up over here. After immigrating to the United States and finding a modeling agency, Zampoli became close friends with Donald Trump, claiming he introduced Trump to his future wife, Melania Knauss, in 1998. Now, I think we should look closer than just a vague description of modeling agency over here. So the way that Paolo and Melania were connected in this is Zampoli said that while he was a partner at modeling agency Metropolitan Models, he secured a work visa for Mrs. Trump, who in mid-1990s was named Melania Knauss. I know she was not working a paid job before she got the H-1B, referring to the type of work visas that U.S. companies can obtain for fashion models of distinguished merit and ability. H-1B visas typically allow people to work and live in the U.S. for around 3 years. So basically, your employer foots the bill and brings you over from the other side of the world so you can live and work in the U.S., but you're kind of beholden effectively to them. The moment you lose your employment is the moment your actual legal stay in the U.S. is very much threatened. So to go down further into this, right, obviously this is a clear connection, but let's see how, again, Zampoli was connected to Epstein. And the way that we can do this is we can just go to the Justice Department's own page and just pull up a specific EFTA number. So an EFTA 00105195.
I'll make you
right
a
at some point Zampoli is
and splat.
this is, so you can see in that and again, you can read this entirely yourself through the EFTA. Provided a pretty long read. So the actual modeling agencies, or at least one of them brought in, and you can verify this from his early life and business career section, with again also from his own verified citation, is that ultimately Zampoli, well, after working from home, one of these companies, a group called by Silvio Berlusconi, in order to work in a fashion model. The lead model management was founded by an individual called Mr. Walken, a recruit Zampoli to the United States after attending the 1994 management is not something new. You actually did yourself actually for around 60 years ago. And of course, this is where they kind of talked about elite model management. And unfortunately, this is a place where it seems as if there was a long-term involved, especially when it came to, again, how we supposed to treat. So according to the Guardian, some former elite models, late 80s, early 90s, when they were teenagers, so minors, by the way, the agency required them to attend by the band, office, sometimes other men. So again, when you read that kind of stuff, you have to think to yourself, what? These are teenagers we're talking about, you know? Again, going by if this is actually...
A wagon's your best friend, leave a heavy load to carry.
So just remember
Inevitable,
but there's
still
something that I do
disappointing.
pull around in this, and it seems to be, again, just underage, like literally children, or like preteen individuals that I guess were modeling in this situation too. So others are present to recall underage models being served things like alcohol at the contest. Trump's representatives say he did not provide alcohol to contest or encourage any model, whether below drinking age or not, to drink alcohol expressing he does not drink alcohol and does not encourage others to do so. Which obviously, I imagine that is what a, you know, public-facing, you know, press secretary or press individual or representative, because obviously the opposite sounds really fucking bad. But yeah, this whole modeling agency is marred with some pretty bad press associated with it. And I think it's worth going down this rabbit hole a little bit deeper about it. Obviously, people started to look what he did after the whole modeling agency stuff. Even after he was doing the modeling and limitedhangout.org, they researched that in the early 2000s, he would become closely affiliated with people like the Clintons as well as the United Nations. A pretty huge step up from where he actually came from. Actually, an insane American success story if one wants to look at it that grim way, where he worked on their climate change initiatives and on the development of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. In particular, Zampoli was part of the team that developed SDG 14, Life Underwater, alongside Stuart Beck, a figure closely tied to CIA regime change operations in Palau, as well as none other than Ghislaine Maxwell and Ghislaine Maxwell's Terramar project. And Terramar, which is actually pretty fucking defunct now, was supposed to be ocean-focused environmental activism. So, I guess that's what these rich guys do after they apparently abuse the fuck out of women, children, men. They decide to give back a little bit and charitable causes. Whether that actually goes to charity, I don't fucking really know, nor do I care to know, okay? These people are shitty anyway. But let's get back to the entire connection between St. Holy, of course, Melania, and obviously, and then detailing and whatnot. Again, the reason I'm going down this thread is to show you how tightly connected this situation is, and it's not something that that exists, in this very sparse, thread. Now, at some point back in the day, back in 2013, Paolo Zampoli, sorry, I don't know why I keep calling him Zampolo, Zampoli ended up actually being an individual that became, I shit you not, an ambassador of Dominica to the United Nations. And of course, this is an individual that at the time, his wife, at the time, Amanda Cesaro, who was model for Brazil, actually showed up as a diplomat as well in this Grenada mission too. So, this is, again, just a huge jump from where this guy had started to all the way down. He's rubbing shoulders with the elites, he's rubbing shoulders with the political bigwigs, and now he's got some pretty resume. Now, of course, obviously, now he serves as the special envoy in the Trump administration for the global partnership system. So, again, this guy is very much, connected to Epstein, very much connected in that modeling agency world back in the day. And he's only ever elevated from there. But the connection still remains. And this guy is somebody that people have started to look into ever since Melania Trump made that statement. Now, because Melania Trump spoke out, people started to look at this Amanda Ungaro. Now, Amanda Ungaro, this is who she is, next to Ambassador Paolo Zampoli, an ambassador. This is an individual that basically arrived into the United States at around the age of 16 to 17. And she'd actually, from my understanding, come on bearing on Epstein's claim from Paris. So the modeling agent at the time for her was none other than Jean-Luc Brunel, which obviously we've seen that name plenty of times. And it's not a good name, definitely not good connected to this situation. And of course, over here, he was accused of procuring these young women for Epstein, and of course, he had also died himself too in 2022. Now, of course, obviously, when she married Paolo, they actually ended up having a son. Now, unfortunately, the problem with it is obviously, she had split with Paolo, and of course, the son was basically estranged. He was basically fought after by both these parents. Now, of course, the party of family values, Paolo himself, considered that maybe the smart thing to do was, if my wife isn't exactly legal in the country, remember, this guy knows about all the things to do with, like, H-1B visas and bringing people here on work visas. He apparently, allegedly in this case, asked ICE to actually
small business? Get customized insurance for as little as $19 per month. Trusted by Canadian small businesses across hundreds of industries. Get a free quote at zensurance.com.
He asked ICE to go and detain the mother of his kid, possibly have her completely deported in this case. So you can see, Ungaro had been arrested alongside her husband at a medical spa in Ventura, Florida, where both faced charges of fraud and practicing medicine without a license. Her husband, who held a green card, was quickly released on bail. Ungaro's last temporary visa expired in 2019, had no lawful immigration status. So yeah, technically she was breaking the law by being in the country. Now, obviously, he's pretty connected to the top. He could easily get her here in the country. He could easily help her out. But because I imagine he wanted his kid, she was transferred to ICE custody and ultimately deported to Brazil. Sources familiar with the case told the Times that deportation likely would have occurred without Zampoli's intervention, as Ungaro had already been flagged for immigration detention. However, ICE policies allow for discretion in cases involving minors, and some detainees in Florida have been released with ankle monitors due to overcrowded detention facilities. Zampoli, 56, currently holds the title of Special Representative. A largely ceremonial role, he is credited with introducing Trump to First Lady Melania Trump. And again, the allegation comes from the New York Times, where in their investigations, they had talked to top ICE officials, an individual known as David Venturella, who was contacted by Zampoli, telling him that Ungaro was in the country illegally and that he would help him gain custody of their child.
Venturella promptly cited or called ICE's Miami field office and arranged for agents to pick up Arnold before she could be released on bail. During the call, Venturella noted that the case was important to someone close to the White House. So again, I don't know who you want to believe. I have a hard time believing the current administration. But, looking at a situation like this, I don't ask the question, did this person, get somebody kicked out of the country? As much as I think, could this person have stopped, his kid from seeing their own mother getting deported from the country? I feel like that's another question that I have. But it makes me question this man, it makes me question the people that he's connected to, and it makes me question the ethical values behind these people. And honestly, Paolo is a very interesting thread to go down. And I can definitely tell you, he probably doesn't appreciate videos like this being made, or these, investigations onto him, because I think for a lot of people, related to the Epstein case, people were fine when these files weren't released and people weren't looking. But now we're in a situation where people are genuinely asking questions. And actually, it's funny to think that the only reason that the story is back up in the limelight once again is because the First Lady of the United States really just wanted to tell people that she wasn't that connected to Epstein. And it just made people look even deeper. And of course, ultimately, what people also have started to discuss too is how connected was Epstein outside to other intelligence agencies. And the reality of it is that if you look inside the actual Epstein files, there's been talks about Central Intelligence Agency, there's been discussion that he might be connected to Israeli Mossad, and there's even far-reaching connections that he might be connected to Russia. The reality of it is that I don't doubt find out. The former Israeli Prime Minister Edward Barak pretty confident there was one.
Come out, let's end this.
Greyman, does this play? It shall serve as your grave.
We'll see.
This is my nest. The moment you said that.
They don't fucking like let's be real here.
And accept your fate. Resist! I will tolerate your suffering. Priests as an offering to the darkness.
CIA and
No one will ever take my place! There's nowhere to go but too long
Now, it's super useful for loads of different things, not just specifically making like shapes and stuff, but you can do like create videos like this. I made this in TikTok by adding a GoPro mount adapter to a phone case that has got the measurement for, and made them okay.
You rescued me
and you can add space
on
and
my
get
own
camera holes
twisted shape.
and then you can export it up to 3D print.
But
Fixer. And
I
that's
fear this is not the end.
Is that...
Once the wagon's finished... Oh, now this is a proper wagon. Solid wheels, firm body. At last, the workshop feels complete. I'll see to the upkeep myself. Make sure everything stays in tip-top shape.
Our comrades are and the townsfolk. Huh? Marius, you're looking...
Ah, there you are. Can we talk?
What's happened?
There's news that a comrade of yours is in Calfay. But with war raging, it's... The Marquis requests you head straight to Hernan. The matters he wishes to discuss...
Don't move. Anything good?
They found a grave.
All right.
That's not...
Come on!
We have to meet...
He's more important than one of our own.
All right. Oh, hey.
Oi, you think this is funny?
Care to pray with me? Faith isn't required. Violence isn't always the answer.
Small things, but all essential. Need any tools for farming? You'll always end up needing those small things.
I wish I could... Hey, you got a moment? Just looking at the crops growing strong out in the field puts a smile on my face. I'm always tending to plants, but it's a shame that I need love for everyone else to feel what it's like. Plant a seed, tend to it, and harvest the fruit. I need to understand where they might struggle. You try growing the seed from your experience. Before I teach the others.
Well, mate.
Can I take these two? Ronnie asked me a while ago if you could grill a bit of fish on the fire then, and also worried you might damage the forks. So it refused. Grilling a few fish wouldn't think I overreacted. I want to make things right. Apologize. Rather than just saying it, I'd also like to bring in some fresh fish for me.
Welcome back. There's a small favour. I've been paying more than fair prices for my materials, but they go through too many hands before they reach us, and now that the camp's grown, I think it's time we trade directly with the Merchant Guild. See if we can purchase materials straight from there. Secure a deal that guarantees us a steady supply.
Oh, just in time. I could use your help. I've always believed that a good night's sleep brings the best results in Bath. I want to build a proper as a scholar at the Scholarston Institute who studies the structure of beds, but crafting a truly comfortable bed takes skill. Visit the Institute and learn the secret to making one.
Websites and stuff. Yeah, so I don't know which the story of it's so bubbled now. I don't know if the legend around the imposter is true. Supposedly it's not a creepypasta for like the 1910s. So, and it's just made its way into creepypasta culture. But that could also be creepypasta just saying. But yeah, there's a bunch of weird Japanese ones that it's interesting because a lot of the more popular American ones are long. All the Japanese ones are like, yeah, this is the spirit that kills you. That's for you. Good luck. Anybody better. If there's anybody better.
These images look fun. Describe an idea. From comments to idea. Adobe Acrobat Studio. I'm an illustrator, and here's what I'm using. Jukebox is my go-to supplier
Folklore, urban legends, Japanese story. I always feel like it's always the best. At least it's always my favorite. Anytime I read about like a Japanese cryptid, or like a Japanese story that's happened, it's like, yeah, well,
Seeds take well to the soil here.
Get ready. They don't pull any punches.
So you've taken an interest in farming too?
Culture is in general. Like it really adds that kind of belief system. I think really translates.
Finally interested? You'll soon realize how much plants can lift yours.
I'm very excited. I mean, even this first one here that we're reading, it's literally about a Japanese poem that we're not supposed to read out loud. Like that within itself, I'm sure, fucked up. Oh yeah, again, as with most of these stories, me. Yeah, it's like, what? What's fun is that I feel like a lot of these are pretty old too, right? Yeah, a lot of these are. We're doing a big grab back there, and a lot of these like the read time is very short. But you know, I think that's kind of obvious. We can be fine, but yeah, a lot of these it's just like that classic old pasta, very short, very punchy format, which I do think lends to these very quick
Perfect. I'm going to the tavern later, if you want to join me.
Yeah, I'm excited as well. And you have some, background with...
Furniture should be built to last.
Murdered a Japanese woman. That is what I see.
The secret, take care of yourself.
Well, you posed a very weird hypothetical. You posed a very weird hypothetical to me that's suspicious. After murdering a Japanese woman, have you encountered any spirits?
Good to see you.
I did. We did through some. No.
Care for a drink?
What did happen though, I don't know, I did go to Japan.
You care to witness the iron art my hammer can forge?
I would say kind of a ghostly experience. But we were in Osaka. We were at the intersection of this like basically shopping area. And we came across this man who kind of came up to us with this IKEA bag. I forgot what he said. He said, oh, yes, that's what he said. He said, I'm sorry. That's what he said. He came up to us, big crowded area. We were all just standing in like a circle, chatting. This man walks up to us and looks at us dead in the eyes, or he looks at Harry dead in the eyes, we should say. And he says, like that. Like as if like, excuse me, in a weird way. And we were like, oh, no problem. And it was just very haunting. And then he barely walked past us. Like sandals scraping on the ground. We kind of looked at each other and we were just like, what the fuck is this? And I'm not even joking. I tell you, we turned and we were gone. And it wasn't like a busy, like big crowd. I mean, it's like gone. Not there anymore. Blown away in the wind.
Blazing, take good care of your gear.
That really stuck with us. One time in New York, I saw a Chinese man.
Oh, buy you a drink. No, drinks.
So that's kind of like spirit. The seagull died? Yeah.
If there's anything you need.
Well, it's kind of mess off. That's what I mean. It's kind of spiritual. So, is it possible that the Japanese man recognized Harry as Korean and was like, "Oh, I'm sorry for what we did to you." Yeah, like there's an apology on behalf.
Take it.
Or alternative.
Use it well.
Mistook Harry as a Japanese.
The monk? Hey, if you're in a bind, you know what?
And said he's sorry. Or that was actually Harry's grandfather, and he just doesn't know. As fun as
all of these hypotheticals are, I think that you're disappointed to find that I think it was a man where we were just in his way. Even though it looked like he walked his way to be inconvenienced by us, and then said we're sorry. Maybe a second, maybe two, give it 2 seconds. Still, even if it is those things, and coming up, even if it was, these hypotheticals, you said, where does this man go? We got moving so fast. Without us knowing? I don't know.
You know, if I was somewhere and a group of Americans came up and I was a Japanese man, and I was like, oh, excuse me, and they just stared at me down the tunnel, I'd probably be like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to disappear slowly.
There is a, well, first off, that wouldn't happen in Japan. Every time they talk to each other, it's not a very social.
I can't start with that. Mind sparing a moment to hear me out? Just the other day, Ronnie was talking about that fish he missed the taste of. Then it came to me. He's always cooking for us. I've got everything else the day off. I remember the fish at the lake in Palin once. I'm counting on you. Will you bring it to me?
Put them to the test. They're keen for the work.
He sold it very well. I mean, it was so, I mean, an inch or two space, and to say, I'm sorry, and scuttle off. It was, you know, and I don't know if it trained as well, but I will say it was a very, I mean, it should.
It's a pretty supernatural experience. You don't have any, like, ghost stories or anything. Suicide stories. You just know it's not. I didn't suicide. But I did get it. Thanks for taking it out of his money because he's a very inflated exchange rate with most providers. You'll see that 55% increase in instant delivery within 20 seconds. Try to look at exchange rates and lose money with every dip, or lock money for days. Let a bank take their cut and leave someone shortchanged when they send the money. The same transfer guarantees that they didn't realize.
If you need a particular someone, I'll arrange it for you.
I've made severe and continuous lapse in judgment. Is that your hentai?
Got something to move?
A Fuji underscore Nick's office. Fuji underscore Jukai movie. It is about a girl who tells other girls in her school that she wants to kill herself. These girls in her school. The movie itself is all recorded on an iPhone, I believe. And it's like at the very beginning.
You wouldn't stack everything on one side, would you?
Yeah. A lot of interesting ideas. It's definitely not like a super great movie, but you know, if you like found footage horror movie, I dig it. It's really, I wouldn't say it's anything spectacular, but it's a really cool concept. There's a lot of fun things that they just
Got something to move?
Well, that's a lot better than.
Don't ever overload your wagon.
Started this. I haven't said anything. I'm referring to what you said.
I don't think I ever said the anime people.
That's what you said. That's what you said.
Well,
say anything there. That was you that made that. Well, I didn't. I had nothing to do with that. The point you just made, you just said that all their stories are about toilets.
I didn't say all of their stories. I said that they...
That's what you said. That is what you said. All right. That is what you said. And I had nothing to do with it. I'm defending them. You're the one coming in here with your props. Like, old man bumps into you and says, I'm sorry. And you're like, who's that it goes? The toilet goes for the old regulation of the goats and the old regulation of the goats. Yeah, we'll get some. I said Patreon. That's right. I said Patreon, then I said platforms like Spotify.
Oh, you're looking to discuss trade? Well, we'd be delighted to have another regular client, esteemed Greymane. However, you must make note that a minimum trade volume is required to ensure a fair price and you needn't worry about the quality. It's guaranteed under the name of the Gold Leaf Merchant Guild. I will have the contract prepared right away.
Thou should. We'll have rafters creep. You can just from your stroll.
comfort is any... Ah, you've come to learn how to make a proper bed, have you? Excellent. First, beds need to be crafted from wood that's resistant to humidity and pests that won't warp much. And a base that has enough spring to hold the body with a balanced filling. Finally, the height and incline should suit the sleeper's body and posture. Put it all together, and you've got a bed that'll give you a splendid night's sleep.
Greetings.
Is this how you'll spend all day? Is this how you'll spend all day? Oh, my back. Don't mind me.
What can I help you find? What can I help you find? Why don't you pick out some more? What can I... Who knows? We might meet again.
Please, please release me. I've got to eat honey. But honey. Because I'm a bear, you see.
Stop your mischief now.
Only a monster would steal a bear's honey. 10 jars, Mum. You swore you'd come back.
Yeah.
Mum, I'm frightened. Please let me go, Mum.
Run.
Forgive me. I beg you. Mama bear, Papa bear, little bear. Only a monster would steal a bear's honey. Mum? Your little bear's still here waiting. I'll never touch it again. I swear. Forgive me.
Hiya! Yeah. Faster!
I'll never touch it again. I swear. Please let me go, Mum. Forgive me. Mum! I've had loads of honey. Come back now! Please let me go, Mum. I'll never touch it again. I swear. Mum? Your little bear's still here waiting. I've eaten it all, Mum. Please hurry back.
Faster!
Mum!
Run!
Right.
much more must I eat for you to come back, Mum? Forgive me. How much more must I eat for you to come back, Mum? I've eaten it all, Mum. Please hurry back. I'll never touch it again. I swear. I've eaten it all, Mum. Please hurry back. Forgive me. I put my heart into eating all that honey. Forgive me. I beg you. How much more must I eat for you to come back, Mum? I put my heart into eating all that honey. I'll never touch it again. I swear. Please let me go, Mum.
Ja.
Forgive me.
Vater!
Mama bear, Papa bear, little bear. I'll never touch it again. I swear. Mum! I've had loads of honey. Come back now! I've eaten it all, Mum. Please hurry back. Forgive me. I beg you. 10 jars, Mum. You swore you'd come back. Mama bear, Papa bear, little bear. Forgive me. Only a monster would steal a bear's honey. I've eaten it all, Mum. Please hurry back. Mama bear, Papa bear, little bear. Forgive me! I beg you!
Your little bear's still here waiting. I'll never touch it again. I swear. 10 jars, Mum. You swore you'd come back. Please let me go, Mum. Mum, I'm frightened. I'll never touch it again. I swear.
Pater!
Forgive me. I beg you. 10 jars, Mum. You swore you'd come back. Excuse me, have you got a moment? Forgive me. I beg you. Mama bear, Papa bear, little bear.
Here. Well, take a look. Impressive work.
That's them.
Lock 'em up. You know, we'll run out of cells at this rate. You save me some... If you find more scum in the future, bring 'em here.
What else do I need? Oh, they really said that. Fair price and guaranteed quality. Not make sure we meet the minimum trade volume. Won't have to worry about sourcing materials anymore. Thank you.
What was that for?
What's going on?
Proper ranch now. What's the point of fences if there's nothing running? That's when I had this idea. Wouldn't the ranch feel more lively if we brought in some healthy... If you spot any fit, strong ones, could you once we have our own livestock running around, the camp... will feel much livelier. Leave the ranch to me. Anything for you. Leave the ranch to me. Leave the... Heading off already? I guess I'll spend some time with the animals then.
What's on your mind?
Went into town and got confessed to again.
I can't drink like I used to. The morning after is far too cruel now. Put them to the test. They're keen for the work. Any particular person in mind? Put them to... Remember, there's no mission in this world we'll turn down. Put them to the test. They're keen for the work. If you need a particular someone, I'll arrange it for you.
Don't worry, I'm keeping your belong. Why carry all those trade goods on you? Just leave them with me. You got any good? Don't worry. I always make sure nothing goes missing.
There's no one better than me when it comes to managing folk. Talk to me whenever you need to.
It requires finer technique than I'd anticipated, from the choice of wood and the filling. It's more than just a piece of furniture. Most insightful, thank you. I'll craft a bed so everyone can sleep well and wake up with the strength to swing their swords all day. Quality furniture makes a house feel like home. Quality furniture makes a house feel like home. Quality, take care of yourself.
Ever seen someone carve their name onto an animal?
Fortune favors the bold, not the careful. No one needs to know we were here. If my name's mentioned, you never heard it.
Prove your mastery of the spear. You seem confident in your spear. Close your damn mouth! You would have gone this way. Now, give us more!
Looks like I'm the winner.
Can't be having that. I'll put in extra training.
Still game to go on?
Tell them off.
Still limbering up, I see. Shall we have another go? Still game to go on?
You could use more practice.
Don't tell me that's all you've got.
I'll do it later.
Prove your mastery of the spear.
Fancy about?
Looks like I'm the winner.
Save the finger.
Give us more!
It's not a question of if you can endure. You must.
Still limbering up, I see. Shall we have another go?
Tell her nothing.
Give us more!
Be careful. Even the smallest wound can turn nasty out here.
Looks like I'm the winner.
Can't be having that. I'll put in extra training on...
Give us more!
Oh, come on.
Looks like I'm the winner.
Not felt this fired up in a long time. Don't tell me that's all you've got. You two look awful.
Looks like I'm the winner.
Even our captain might fall to them.
Don't tell me that's all you've got.
Leaving us out of a fight would be a mistake.
Looks like I'm the winner.
If I train hard enough, could I become that strong?
Call yourself a sharpshooter? Prove it, here and now. Call yourself a sharpshooter? Prove it, here and now.
Hold on a minute. Look, I know you're keen to get inside, but we've locked down the area. It's far too dangerous.
Wonder how rich the prize will be.
Watch it. I'd be proud to call you friend.
think you can shit on me?
No sign of the messenger.
Hold on a minute. Look, I know you're keen to get inside, but we've locked down the area. It's far too dangerous. Hold on a minute. Look, I know you're keen to get inside, but we've locked down the area. It's far too dangerous.